420 is definitely going to have some mischief as I hit up 20 stores in Seattle for the 6th year in a row to give me an idea of what the market is going to do. For example, 2 years down the road, 420 sales tend to be the everyday low price. So wanted to know what Vegas was going to be like. So I scheduled 10 stores to hit up and find out what the Vegas scene was like, to kind of utilize my time during the Money 2.0 conference, where I was on a panel to talk about risk to resilience in finance for my company Toro Alerts, which sends alerts for stocks, options, and cryptocurrency. You should definitely download Toro Alerts. So Vegas, good time, even with the sandstorm I was at. And so, took one day out of my schedule to run across 10 stores and again, get a better idea of what the market looks like. So that includes, the price and who goes there and where they're at, and find out a little bit about the products as well. So we tried some products out, and some of that included the good as well as the bad. And of course, we included the ugly. So we'll let you know about all of that coming up.
It's only entertainment.
Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, Capital Markets Analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast.
All right, looking at Pisos, this one is a little bit out of the way, just like all of them are. None of them are on the strip. Their ounces are going to be $125 on 420. So they have all the same products. They got edibles and flour and vape and all of the things that you're going to want. And a pretty good layout. So it's all like a display case, so you can get in there and look at it. And there's plenty of bud tenders. And if you're a high roller, they got a VIP room in there to give you kind of a one-on-one consultation for all of your needs. I got to sit down with one of their bud tenders and have a little one-on-one chat, got to ask her some questions. So before we continue on this tour to other stores in Vegas, let's chat with the rep at Pisos.
The night shift gets more, people are out there partying. They want to come to the dispensary.
Right. Yeah, it's a night market, but hopefully they haven't been drinking. That's probably one of the worst decisions, when somebody's been drinking and like, hey, let's try some for the first time, or too many edibles, and they go through all of that.
Well, and they lose their spending limit when you've been drinking. You come in and you spend.
What is the limit? In Washington State, it's only 1 ounce or 7 grams of concentrate. What's the cap here?
So 100, an ounce, and then 300, an ounce and 3,500 milligrams of THC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting that they would lay it out
so
like that.
We actually, whenever you check out, it'll tell you the exact amount that you're at. So it'll add up all of the THC from your infused pre-rolls, from your edibles, from your flower, all together. That way you can only reach a certain amount.
Okay. Your favorite product are these Camino edibles.
Yes.
Flowers still fairly predominant, but people you're seeing are buying edibles.
Flower is definitely still popular for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of depends on the day. So Wednesday through Sunday, that can be pretty busy for Vegas, but Monday, Tuesday, very, very, very slow.
In Washington, we see most of the sales on Fridays between hours of 3 and 5.
Okay. Yeah, I can kind of see that. It just, honestly, in Vegas, it depends on what flights are landing that day, how many flights are in that
Touristy.
day.
So
exactly.
you weren't working here during the pandemic, but the numbers were terrible. Do you know what people did to get people into the store, because no one was traveling? How do you get locals in here when this stuff is so expensive?
Yeah, we had to do some local deals, definitely. We had to kind of work as a team and come up with different ideas for different deals in our menu to get people to come in. And we did offer the local discount for the 20% off of our flour, 10% off edibles for all of our locals. But whenever they come in and spend a couple $100, let's say 600, 500 or so, that then knocks it down to 50% off their flour.
Okay. Why would somebody come here? There's a lot of competition. There's nothing on the strip, but there's a lot of competition. There's Cookies and Planet 13 and all these, MedMen, all these companies that have this huge public relations. How do you compete against that? Why would somebody come here?
Well, in my personal opinion, if you've noticed, we don't do marketing the same as other people do.
Yeah.
Our website looks the same, our website looks different, our store looks different. Our experience in here is completely different. It's a lot classier. And whenever it comes to edibles and our flour, we grow our flour all from here, just this dispensary. Maybe the same strains as other places, but it comes from this dispensary originally. Also, all of our edibles, you'll notice some dispensaries have a lot of the same things. We have different brands than other people do. Maybe not all of the different brands, but most of them are different than other dispensaries, in my opinion.
So how do people select those brands? Because we have in Washington State up to 2,000 SKUs, and you walk in and it's incredibly overwhelming. They don't really know what to do.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when you walk in and you have all of these things, have you ever been to an Indian restaurant with 40 pages? Have you ever been to like a Thai restaurant that has way too many offerings?
Okay, yeah, just too many options.
How do you select like what to eat or what to buy?
So actually, this is very common with customers. They always walk in, they say, this is my first dispensary, I don't know what to choose, it's just so many options. It's like an adult candy store. But with our menu, we always go down the menu with every customer. We have it listed in different sections, like a flower menu, edible menu, topicals and CBD, and then only CBD products, and then all of our concentrates. So we narrow it down into certain categories. That way it's easier to choose from. And we do different colors. So sativa for red, hybrid green, and pepper gold. Just to like label it out into different categories for everybody. Makes it easier.
So you're just labeling and filtering, and then you finally come down to a recommendation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good deal. So we were inside this private room, I guess, where you can have highly, high net worth individuals come in here for privacy and seclusion and have this one-on-one bud tender experience. I haven't seen anything like this before. This is pretty unique. What would you say is another kind of unique characteristic about this location?
Another unique characteristic about this location is that we do kickbacks. So some of the drivers, whenever they want to come here, we will pay them out. That way their customers that they bring in get a free gift from our store.
Awesome. So basically, if you spend $20 or more, you only have to spend a penny to get another something?
So you have to spend $20 or more, and then you get a penny product. So usually I'd say it's either a gram or a pre-roll, sometimes a little energy edible shot.
Okay.
Just depends on what we're offering at that time. It does change though.
Cool. And you guys, I assume online, do you have any discounts online?
Yeah, so sometimes for our deliveries, if you do a certain amount of spending, we'll throw you an 8. Or online, sometimes on Bean Maps, if you come in at Uber or Lyft, instead of 1 pre-roll, you can get 2 if you show the promotion.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you guys at on social media? If people are interested in what you guys have got going on and they want to check out your online menu, what's your website and social media?
So our website is pisoslv.com, I believe. Our Instagram, we have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, and we also have a Weed Maps account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And of course, there's Cookies. That's Burner's company. So I got to check out Cookies. I was excited because I expected some really good genetics, some good cultivars. They were all out of Gary Payton blunts, unfortunately. So I ended up picking up a different one, checked out their store and different categories and everything. But ultimately, this $55 blunt was not what I was expecting. So, if Cookies expects to just get away with their brand, that's going to diminish rapidly. Again, I was excited about it, but of course you can't touch anything. If you go to Oregon, they still have jars that you can open and smell, but that's very, very rare. NuLeaf is another little compact store with kind of deli-like display cases and TV monitors, so you can look at what you want to order up there. They have a lot of options too, just like a lot of these places. So you can take a look at some of the flower. In fact, a lot of people didn't display a lot of flower, even though 90% of the bud tenders I talked to in Vegas prefer flower and told me that the majority of people are buying flower. Still, the flower wasn't really displayed as prominent as other products, which I found interesting. I didn't buy anything, but it was a good store to check out. Planet 13 is huge. It's more of an experience. So when you go in, there's places to take selfies, and you'll see a little video here that kind of will show a lot of what's going on. So you'll see that going on where there's producers and processors, retailers going in the background. So that's kind of cool.
Check out those robotics. That's what I'm talking about. Automation.
Big scale.
So they had something like that similar in Seattle. Snoop Dogg was there and they ended up folding. It was called Vela, and they had a grow and a producer. That was the producer. The processor was there, and they had a packaging company and the retail shop, and it was supposed to be really nice and an experience. But ultimately, people in Seattle, all they wanted was price and convenience. They didn't really care. There wasn't the tourism like there is in Vegas. So this is a huge, big box store with cases and displays everywhere and products and everything. So one of those where if you want to see a lot, and a lot of this is repetitive, a lot of these display cases were repetitive, but it's easier to see compared to some of the smaller stores that I went to. $27 for half a gram isn't too bad for live resin. And so maybe this is the bulk, since they are a multi-state operator. Reef was in an industrial park like many of them are. It reminded me like a CVS or Walgreens. You go down, you get your ancillary items, and then you go up to the bud tender. They give you menus in advance. Very systematic. They prefer probably pre-orders. You're in and you're out. Curaleaf, huge multi-state operator. Went in there, checked out all of their offerings. Of course, they have everything that everybody else has as well, and not very cheap. Of course, you're looking at $34 for an eighth, or $40 for an eighth isn't too bad. Again, these MSOs are less expensive than the boutique ones that were asking more than $40 an eighth, which actually gets crazy if you're trying to fight that legacy market. This is the only bud tender actually that prefer vaping over flower. The other 9 bud tenders I talked to preferred flower. Although small data set, it was interesting to see kind of what people were interested in and what the number one product was, which typically always was flower. They've got edibles and everything at low doses for all of the tourists coming in. When COVID hit and tourism and travel stopped, Nevada was the hardest hit. So this store is going after some of the female smokers with nice bongs and low dose edibles. Portable live rosin pens are really popular down there. Not portable, but disposable. Some nice little concentrates there. NUWU was going to be my last stop because I wanted to hit up their Cannabis Cafe smoking lounge, but it was closed that day. Unfortunately, I got some photos of it though, but got to see some of their flowers. $225 for an ounce isn't terrible. There's another one, it's a little bit cheaper, and they've got a bunch of blunts and infused, pre-rolls, everything everybody else does. Packwoods, I think, is an interesting name to be backwoods. I'm not sure how they haven't been sued yet on that trademark, but again, Gary Payton wanted to get some of those blunts, but sold out. So big store, edibles and bongs and beverages, pretty much everything everybody else has. They seem to have a lot of options though. So if you're curious about more SKUs, or if that's intimidating, some of these boutiques have really lowered the amount, whereas these big box stores have a lot of options. Tasting room would have been interesting to get into. You have to pay to get in there, and you can only smoke what you buy. So that part's not that cool, but it is a nice option to have. So some of the stuff I had was not great. It clogged a lot, but that's Vegas.
With that, we're going to roll this one up.
I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out.
Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.